Hey guys, it's me, Carrie. So first off, it's been a little bit since I've uploaded a Humany video. I've been busy with some projects, including a game that I am gonna keep secret for now. But I wanted to show you something that I'm really proud of, which is related to one of my favorite episodes that we've worked on in the recent past, which is BFDIA 14, pointy, pointy, pointy. It's the one where this happens. It was Final 10 in BFDIA 14, and there's 5 teams of 2, and they have to climb up 5 islands, each island representing one of the eliminated contestants from the first 5. And like the islands, there's Teardrops Island, Matches Island, Donut Dora, and Puffball's Island. And this girl, she has a crash out moment, I suppose. What? That's crazy. I will not let Pin and my name is Pin. I will not let Book and Ruby steal my song, and I will zap them like that. That is so satisfying, seeing them grimace in pain. So anyway, what is it that I want to show you guys? Well, I've always wondered, so I've been really into data visualization, and I've always wondered how many people in the BFDI fandom are also into data viz. So anyway, when I think when Joseph and I were writing this script for this episode, and this was just about a year ago now, we got it down to about 38 pages or 44 scenes or pages, I don't know. And what happened was we were sort of sending it to the animators, and we kind of realized it's really important for the animators to know which teams are on which island at any given time, because maybe they're handed scene 23 and they don't know, like, is Pin and Coney on island 3 or 4, or should I put them in the background? We don't want to have them get it wrong, because then you have like a continuity error. So I made this graph to show the progress of, so there's 5 teams, right? Fries and Bommy colored in purple, Ruby and Book, one of the Free Smart teams, colored in blue, Needle and Pencil, the other Free Smart team, in orange, Tennis Ball and Nickel in green, and of course, our favorite team, Pin and Coiny, in red. And also, I know this is an old episode now. It's about like a year old because it was last summer. I don't really know I didn't share this until now, but I just figured, like, why not? Better late than never, Also because, like, we're actually working on pretty much the exact same kind of period of episode, but next year for 2025's tour. So I just felt like there were a lot of parallels. So it's time. So anyway, I made this graph, and I think what's really cool about it is that, it shows all 5 teams' progress moment by moment. And obviously you start at the ground level here, and then island 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you progress, you move up. I'm gonna make my webcam smaller so you can see more. So the thing is, like, when we're writing the episode, we don't know how many minutes and seconds each section will take until the animation and post-production editing is all done, because sometimes things will end up longer or shorter than we expect. So that didn't show up in the final video, but just now, like literally in the last hour, I just added all these timestamps down here by like watching the episode and just tracking when the scenes started and ended. By the way, I do have the full storyboard open on a browser as well, but I don't know if I should show that just because of like privacy reasons. But anyway, so if you go to like moment 947, that's the very beginning here of the episode. So let's go to there now. 947. So let's see where they all are. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're just at the beginning. Right here, it's the very beginning of the contest, and the LOLers are looking at the final 10 contestants competing. So obviously none of them have made it to the first island. They're all on ground level. So that's why it looks like this. And I'm not going to do that I'm not going to go through the entire episode, but I'm just going to point out interesting like facts and trends. So I think what's cool is you can see that every team was in first place at some point. And normally, like, if you just watch the episode, and it would be hard to prove that, but here it's super easy. You just see who's at the very top of this at any point. So here's yellow and orange. So that's when Needle and Pencil were the first to get to Island 1 because Pencil was dead, poisoned, and put in the coffin, or super coffin, Free Smart super coffin. So they're in first. And then Tennis Ball and Nickel, remember, they were the first to Dora's Island, Island 2. In fact, I could like label these. And so they were the top. And I think what's also really cool is so you can see that Tennis Ball and Nickel took forever to get off of Dora's Island. They came in first, but they left last. And that's, I can't really see my mouse, but that's because there's that whole thing where Tennis Ball had to brush Nickel's teeth, and that, like, it took him forever, and then the toilet brush happened. So, like, you can see that the delay, that was why. Okay, so this is, I'm slowing things down by putting these things here, but this will help. This is going to improve the, oh my god, the readability of this graph by just reminding you. So this is Puffball. So yeah, you can see that every person was in first at some point, and I believe everybody was in last at some point. So by the intermediate value theorem, that means every team was in every rank at some point, and that's like something you'll learn in calculus AB class if you are familiar with that. So anyway, there's all the islands, and so yeah, needle and pencil in first, tennis ball and nickel in first, then fries and bomby. Okay, yeah, now my cursor's better, and then needle pencil and Ruby book, all of Free Smart are in first, getting to Match's island, which I remember that because Match is the one who like greets them, and then they have the whole thing where it's like, hey you, hey Pin, no, what, no you, like that goes on for like 30 seconds. That was Match was the first person to see them there, so that makes sense. And then, but Pin and Coney were at first at some. Oh no, they were Pin and Coney were the first person to get there, but then Free Smart showed up right after, so that's why it's like all close. And then Fries and Bomby were the first to get to Puffball's island or something, but Tennis Ball and Nickel were the first to win with the like, let the melatonin make your body feel asleep and and then that made them win. So they shot up to the top. Once you hit the very top of that top band, that means you finish the entire thing and you win. And then you can also see Pin's crash out moment at the end of scene 42, which is about 34:48 into the episode. And that was actually where I started this video, like at this exact screenshot at 34:48. Puffball, for some reason, approves Ruby and Book's theft song, stealing bit, and then Pin just gets enraged. She's so frustrated, and that is right here. So you can see Ruby and Book, the blue line, is moving up. It's halfway between the two islands because, as you can see here, they're halfway up the ladder. They're in the intermediate liminal space. But they're not. They don't make it all the way because before they get to finally get in bed and clinch that last safe spot, Pin zaps them and then they fall all the way back to the ground. Like, I love that. Was so satisfying, drawing this blue line all the way back to the bottom, and then Pin and Coney, the red ones, finally get the last safe spot. So that's why it moves back up there. So that's really fun to see. You can also see that the only time there has been significant backtracking was here. This is when when Pin and Coney were climbing the sugary Twizzler vines off of Donuts Island, and then remember Pin's extension cord wasn't long enough. I don't know if I need to show all this to you. Actually, why not? So this was around 12:09, somewhere between 12:09 and 12:52. Pin and Coney lose all their progress. So she's going up, and remember this. It's not quite long enough, and they fall all the way back to the bottom, and it was so tragic. And Coney has to go by extension cables, and they go. Yeah, so that's the first backtracking. The second backtracking was Ruby and Book here, and that was around 1541. That's when they had the jetpack, and the jetpack was not. Yeah, it was polluted because of Tennis Ball's oil rig that polluted it. So eventually they fall back down, and remember, Ruby does that thing where she throws a jetpack down to save them or something, and they cross paths. And then remember this, yeah, and then. Ruby and Book, that's when it's so over. They're really down in the dumps because they went from being so close to the top to literally way in behind. And around here, 1912, this exact point, that's when they get accosted by Evil Leafy. And actually, I could add the Evil Leafy zone. Boom, boom, boom. These moments where you're really lagging and you're the last remnant on the island. That's probably because Evil Leafy chased you out of there. So remember, Evil Leafy on the Donuts Island, they were just running in circles, and then the other Free Smarters helped them with the pipe to the water pipe for them to swim up, and they finally escaped Evil Leafy. That was this. I'll make it a dark red or something so it doesn't confuse. This is really dark red. Let's do that. Okay, like that. Just so it looks different from Pin and Coney's curve. And then Evil Leafy also scared Tennis Ball Nickel here around 22:32 because he was brushing his teeth for too long, and then it was this moment, which is honestly he could have stopped and bailed out at this point. His teeth are 80%, 90% clean. He probably could have operated and eaten the island at that moment. Yeah, this was not unnecessary. Oh my god, it's so painful. Oh my god, it's so gross as well. But now it's starting clean. But yeah, Evil Leafy is still there and about to chase them out, which is why. Come on. Yeah, there's Evil Leafy. You can see that very visually because they're so far behind. And then the same thing happened with the ship. This was the first intentional backslide. That was a backslide because Match was here saying, there's a raft behind the pirate ship on Teardrops Island. And then Ruby made a face, and then they went back down. So that was, yeah, 2601 or somewhere between. So these timestamps are just kind of estimations, because obviously I'm not going to make this more quantized and like fine-tuned than just about like one data point per minute. So yeah, it's between somewhere between 2601 and 2647 that the Free Smart teams decide to backtrack.
I can say I'm not like a pin.
Oh, you see, like they're backtracking. Matt, your friends are jumping off a cliff. Oh, I'm well aware. So that is represented by this back thing. But you know, when they're on the pirate ship, who accosts them? Evil Leafy, and that's right around, you know, the 29-minute mark. You know, actually they have a pretty long. They have the longest interaction with Evil Leafy, yeah, around the 29. Oh my God! Wait. So there's a jump ahead warning, and I know like YouTube will put that there if it knows in the data that the highest proportion of viewers click ahead, usually because there's like a sponsored message or it was just a boring part of the episode. But I wonder if that happened here, because you see, there it is, because like a lot of viewers are scared, which, I mean, it is definitely like the scariest part of the episode, but I always think that BFDI level horror is like way toned down from an actual horror movie, which could have like blood or guts or something that's not kid friendly. Like, I mean, I guess people don't know what's gonna come, but I just think the fact that jump ahead thing, if you click it like jumps you to the exact moment that Evil Leafy is killed, so you really don't have to worry about that monster. So yeah, that's this portion. And then Evil Leafy never shows up again because people progress fast enough. Like, Evil Leafy never makes it to Mash's island because she gets trapped under the ship, so it only ever looks like that. This is the evil. This right here is the region that Evil Leafy has conquered, which I guess you can also see here by like how many islands are red. So that's pretty cool. And this helped both the animators know what team to put in the background and make it continuous, but also I know Joseph helped with this like visualization in the upper left right there of like where each team is. It's the little mini map, kind of like a Mario Kart when you're playing and you're seeing how far along the course you and your team members are. It looks kind of like this as well. It's a lot. I mean, I don't know if this helped because I just posted it in the server, and maybe people helped, or maybe people looked at it, maybe they didn't. Also, I don't know if I'm speaking like great. I might be slurring my words because it is 1:30 a.m. I don't know why I always record this so late. But yeah, this is an image I'm very happy with, and let me get a high-res version. Okay, well, take a screenshot, you guys. I'm trying to make this very centered, and it doesn't quite show up. There. Screenshot this, you guys. This is data visualization at its most beautiful. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty much all I have to say. No more 1 a.m. videos. Where's my webcam? There it is. No more 1 a.m. videos. And yeah. Thank you for like surviving the Humany hiatus. I know eWow like 13A has tided some people along, but like for the most part I haven't uploaded it here for a while, but I want to get back into it. Isn't this, why am I doing this? This is like pin stabbing my neck. I don't want to do that. Yeah, but I'm trying to think what else there is to say about this graph, because I made it in processing. If anyone wants to know, I didn't actually draw it line by line in like Paint. I coded something up in Java. Its processing is like a version of Java where it takes in a big text data file and then draws it. Oh, and some other things I should mention are that when multiple teams are on one island like this, the vertical distance that sorts them only means who got there first. So when you see that there's like 3 of them, this is Needle Pencil, Ruby Book, and Fries Bomby, you know all 3 of them are concurrently working on, you know, trying to get jetpacks filled with jelly filling to get to Dora's island. They're all doing that simultaneously, and you don't actually know who's ahead in the actual episode, but you know that, you know, Needle and Pencil got there first, Ruby and Book got there next, and Fries and Bomby are the third ones to get there. And you can see that like shows that when Fries and Bomby is the first to leave, that's like an upset because they were the last team to get there. And this was even more of an upset, of course, with Tennis Ball and Nickel. And yeah, and then like, you know, when they're halfway between, that usually means that they're flying up or they're climbing some vine or they're swimming up the stream, as in right here, or no, here Ruby and Book are swimming up the stream. And what is this? This is a really slow ascent. So that's Tennis Ball and Nickel getting off of Dora's Island and getting to Teardrop. So 20. I think they're just not seen for that time. Or I know there's the whole part where like they're on Teardrop's Island and they fall back down and they say like, nice job, Jiggle Boy, or something, because Tennis Ball. Actually, I didn't show it, but at some point, some character goes like or Tennis Ball and Nickel go all the way down to the bottom, bounce on the bottom, and then go back up, and then then Nickel says, "Nice job, Jiggle Boy." And I think that's around here, but I didn't draw it because it wasn't relevant for the animators. Okay, yeah, that is my graph. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day or good night if it is around midnight like it is for Carrie, and I will see you later. Goodbye. Bye. Why is it so hot? Okay, yeah, bye for real. Bye for real.